It was 1 year ago, and at this time, Immigration and Customs Enforcement agents were raiding the Fresh Mark plant in Salem.
They were rounding up what they suspected to be undocumented immigrants, mostly from Guatemala. 1 year later, we're looking into what happened to them. First News anchor Stan Boney is live in the studio with some of the answers.
Well, on this day 1 year ago, 146 people were taken into custody at Salem's Fresh Mark plant, where today they're still processing hams, bacon, and hot dogs, some under the Sugardale brand. Now, of those 146, 60 were released within 2 days. 2 months later, 13 were charged specifically for using false paperwork to obtain employment. Now, today I talked with Sister Reen Weeks of St. Paul Church in Salem, and she says since then, some have been deported, but some are back to work, even at the Fresh Mark plant. Now, Sister Reen told me in the 2 months after the raid, she ministered to Salem's large Hispanic community, most of whom are Guatemalan, out of St. Paul Church. She says many of them met with immigration lawyers, rent assistance, and food was also provided. The center also served as a place where people could hang out and feel safe. Sister Reen also says that of the 86 still detained after the first 60 were released, many of them were also later released, though she did not have specific numbers. She says a few were deported. She also said the Hispanic community around Salem remains strong.
According to the school system, actually there's more Hispanic kids in school right now than there were a year ago. So, you know, some people moved, some people found other work.
Sister Reen says some of them went back to work at Fresh Mark because they have legitimate documents or have since received the necessary work permits, but she does not know exactly how many. Sister Reen says the Hispanic community around Salem has returned to some sense of normalcy. I asked her if she thought the raid was necessary and said she didn't think it was necessary to do it exactly in that way. She called raids like these disruptions to families. And though she doesn't agree with them, she does understand them. In the studio, Stan Boney, WKBN 27 First News.